Hello boys and girls, Mrs. Skiff here again with another writing video. So today I would like to introduce to you for the very first time our writing paper. It's a big exciting moment. We are going to start using writing paper. Now there will be some days that we will still go back to our writing journals and we'll do things in our journals. But we're also going to start using writing paper. So we've talked about adding labels, we've talked about stretching out words and putting words onto our paper. So I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about the paper that I have handed, that your teachers are going to hand out to you. So at the top of our paper, as I tell my class, what's the first thing we always do every time we get a piece of paper? Exactly. We write our name. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print my name up here on the top of my paper. So this paper has two pieces to it. There's a box right here. So this is where we're going to illustrate pictures within inside of the box. And then down here is a line. And right now we're going to start with one line, but as we get better writers, we'll move to paper that maybe has two lines. What I want you to notice is something special about the lines that are on this paper. So you've probably heard us refer to the skyline, the plane line, the grass line, and the digger line. So these are lines that we use when we're making our uppercase and our lowercase letters. So when we make a capital letter, we're going to always start up here at our skyline. Some of our lowercase letters also start at the skyline, like our L and our F, but some of our smaller letters start at the plane line, like our O and our M and our C and our A. Some of our lines, all of them will touch the grass line. And then some of them, when they're digger, they go down below, like our Y. Our Y would start at our plane, and we would cross over and go down into our digger. Our G is the same way. We would make that magic C, close it up, go down into our digger line. So this is just an introduction to it today. Don't expect you to know about it, but just wanted you to know where those lines are. And we will practice with that as we start practicing our handwriting with our letters. So today we are going to start a series of our writing called Show and Tell. So we are going to start doing show and tell books. There is a chart that we are going to be referring to as well that has talked about the different types of writing that we've done. So I'm going to show you that right now. This is called, a chart is called 4 Ways to Write. And we've talked about the illustrations, which we know the illustrations are the pictures that we draw. We've done some labels. We've talked about even catching just the beginning sound to add to our label. This is a picture of a cat. So they're labeling this cat by catching that beginning sound. The other day we practiced stretching out some words. So here this person stretched out words and wrote the word cat. And then eventually we're going to build up. And today I wanted to give the paper because we're going to build up to where we're going to write simple sentences that match our picture. Kind of goes along hand in hand with the reading that we've been doing. The books that we've been reading have been pretty simple words that match the pictures. And we're kind of doing the same thing. As authors and illustrators, we're starting with our pictures because we really can't write yet. And as we become better writers, we're going to start adding these additional pieces. So some of us might only be at illustrations and starting labels, and that's okay. Some of us might be able to stretch out those words. That's great. And eventually, pretty soon, we're all going to be writing sentences using our sight words. So this is the chart that I was talking to you about. So we're going to be starting a show and tell unit. Well, what is show and tell? Well, last week, your teacher sent home a letter, and your parents hopefully had you send in an object from home. And we're going to first start by doing a show and tell. It's an object you brought in that you want to show, and then you're going to tell your reader about it. Well, how are you going to tell your reader about it? You're going to do that by drawing a picture and adding some labels to it. So I thought what I would do is I would show you a sample. So this is my show and tell. This is my snack container. It's actually my son's snack container, but I use it. And yes, it's Baby Shark. And so he has a Christmas hat. But I love it to use, and I thought it would be a really great object. It's got a lot of pieces to it that I could show you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it. So I have my object right here next to me. I can use it to help me. So it's kind of, if I think about a shape, what kind of shape could I draw to help me start it? Yeah, kind of like a square. It's not really a rectangle. I would say a square. So I'm going to start by drawing a square on my paper. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I notice his hat up here. That kind of sticks out to me. So I'm going to look at my object, and it's okay if you go outside of your lines. I'm just going to sketch it in my pencil. That way, if I make a mistake, I can go back and fix it, and then I'll add my color at the end. Over here hanging, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a zipper because it's a zipper pouch that I can put my snacks in. So I'm going to draw my little zipper over here. And then this is his hat. So I'm going to see this piece right here. So I'm going to draw down just a little bit here with my pencil to make my Santa hat. And then I'm going to kind of make the shapes to go out to the edges. So his one eye kind of has a little bump like this, and then it goes out. And then the same way over here. From this side, he kind of has a little bump, and he goes out to the sides. Then I go in and I notice his eyes. What shape do his eyes look like to you? Yeah, they kind of look like moons, right? So I'm going to do my best that I can do with my eyes, making my eyes. So I have my object right here, going back and forth. All right, now I've got this piece right here of his mouth. So I'm going to go ahead and do my best that I can do to draw up his mouth. And then inside, this kind of almost looks like a jack-o'-lantern, how I would do my jack-o'-lantern on my pumpkin. So I'm going to do my best that I can do to draw his sharp teeth. And is it perfect? No, perfect doesn't exist. Am I trying my best and I'm using what I have here? Yep. And that's what we want you to do, is we want you to try. Now here he's got a little ornament hanging out of his mouth. So here's my little hook. This is his ornament. I'll come back and add his color. And then down here on the edges, these are his fins. So those are an additional feature that are on my little snack container. So now I'm going to add my fins. Awesome. All right, now I could go back and add my color, but I think I want to add my labels first, because if in case I ran out of time, if I have to come back to this tomorrow, I don't want to forget what it is I'm drawing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add some labels. So I'm going to start right over here. This I said was my zipper. So go ahead and help me stretch it out. I'm going to get my tool that we talked about the other day. I have my alphabet chart. Oh, look at this. There's a zipper right on our alphabet chart. So I'm going to draw my Z right next to it. Itchy, itchy eye, igloo, p. What do I hear? P, like in pig, P, like the rainbow, So there's my logo. Sorry, my camera froze. My lowercase r. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Zipper. Zipper. What is this that he has on his head? What would I call that? What could I add for a label? It's a hat. Good job. So up here, I'm going to add a little line and I'm going to write hat. Ooh, look at, here's a picture of a hat right here and it's got an H. So I'm going to go like an apple. T. Good job. Hat. So I have my picture of I have his hat. I have my zipper. What else could I label on here? His eyes. You're right. Right here are his eyes. So I'm going to draw a line out here. Eyes. 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 So there's my label for eyes. Here's my eyes. What is this? This is a picture of his mouth. Good job, mouth. Let me go to my alphabet chart. Oh, like in monkey. Open up. Ow. Ooh, this is a tough one. This is what we call a digraph. It's two letters put together that make a sound. A new sound, mouth. And that is T and H. When we put the letters T and H together, of his mouth. So I've got my mouth, I've got my eyes, I have my zipper, I have his hat. Is there anything else? Oh, his teeth. I could label his teeth, right? T, 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 E, E, oh, there's that th again, just like I had here for this digraph. T, E, th. It's that same sound. It's that digraph. Th. TH together says th. Here's his teeth. What are these things that I put on the side? If I go back to my pouch, what could I call these? These are his fins. Nice job. I'm going to put it over here since I don't have much, I don't have any labels over here. So help me stretch it out. What do I hear? Like in fan. Like an igloo. Fin. I could label this one too so that my reader knows that these are his fins, right? His is a fin and this is a fin. Look at that, boys and girls. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to add some color to match my object. So his hat was red. So I'm going to go ahead and color his hat red. I'm going to take my time, make nice small strokes to practice staying in between my lines because we want our pictures to look nice. And boys and girls, sometimes we may not get to all of it in one day. If you've done an item, you've drawn your item and you've labeled it, sometimes it takes a long time to do that, and that's okay. We can always come back to our colors and adding our additional details the next day. So I'm going to go ahead and color in his eyes and his mouth. And again, it doesn't have to look exactly like your object, but it should be pretty close. His fins are gray, so I'm going to color them in gray. And around here, around his eyes, this was gray, so I'm going to go ahead and color that in lightly. That looks nice. I'm taking my time. Hope you like him. He's looking pretty good, I think. This part I'm going to leave white because his mouth is white around it. And then I'm just going to make some little colored dots. I'm not going to make it look exactly like my pouch, but I'm going to just add some Christmas colors, some red and some green dots for the dots that are on my pouch to add some decoration to them. And there you have, oh, my ornament. I forgot about my ornament over here. Whoops, I'm just going to add some red stripes so that they know that it looks like a Christmas ornament, right? And I'll outline it a little bit in red. Perfect. Boys and girls, I am going to add a label underneath. I'm going to call this my pouch. My pouch. My pouch. Great. Take your objects that you have, and you are going to take your piece of paper and you are going to sketch it out, and then you are going to add your labels to it. Enjoy.